Hey guys, so I was looking for some movies to watch on YouTube and I came across a movie that I saw with my now ex-boyfriend like a while ago. Now, the only problem is when me and him saw it in the theater, it doesn't make sense when we saw it because the year it came out was back when I was in high school living in another state, according to the date it says now that it came out. According to the release date now, the movie came out years before I even graduated. Um, Ironically enough, the movie is called AI. It was that movie with the boy from The Sixth Sense. I don't know what his name is, but how can that be though? I have an anchor memory that validates when this movie came out. That movie came out back when it's saying it came out now. I literally would have been in another state in high school. I wouldn't have even known the guy who was my boyfriend at the time. And to be honest, I'm glad I'm just now noticing this image change because, had this been a few years ago, I probably would have, freaked out a little bit and researched everything surrounding this movie and spent a while trying to come up with a theory to explain this change. But I don't do that anymore. Like, many of us in the Emmy community, I guess you can say we've kind of grown numb to it. That's what happens to people who experience trauma sometimes. They grow numb to it and learn to adapt. Now, I'm not saying that the Emmy is like a form of trauma. I mean, back when I first woke up to it, it was a helpful tool to shake us out of the monotony of everyday life. I'm just saying that when you first stumble upon the Emmy, it's life-changing. It totally shifts your paradigm of how you thought life worked. It also shifts your paradigm with people. Like, trying to tell someone about the ME is a really easy way to see who's willing to trust their own mind and who's not. I don't even know what you would call that phenomenon, the people who won't trust their own mind, their own memories. I just know I can't relate to someone who isn't willing to trust their own mind. That's weird to me. Maybe they've always been pretending to be like us. I don't know. Maybe we died and that's why things keep changing and repeating. Like, this movie had to have come out, I want to say, like 4 or 5 years in the original reality after the date it says now, in order for me to have moved to another state and started dating the guy I saw the movie with. I mean, there's no way around that because I know what year I graduated high school, and I didn't move until after I graduated high school. So it's not like, oh, maybe I misremembered and was off by a couple of years. No. Everyone remembers what year they graduated high school. And according to this movie's release date, it's now saying it came out before I graduated high school. And we saw it not on DVD, we saw it in the theater when it first came out. But yeah, I'll never get any answers to this. Apparently it came out in 2001, years before I even graduated. There won't be any answers, and that's how it is with all of us in this community. We spent years theorizing, but no one ever found any definitive answers. I know for me, it's been, I want to say, half a decade since I stumbled upon the Mandela effect. Now, granted, I would say I was experiencing a change here and there years before the Emmy even had a name. But I wasn't consciously aware of it, if that makes sense. I wasn't consciously aware that this thing had a name until 2016. Like, a lot of us experienced changes before the Mandela effect even had a label. Um, the first couple years, I kind of went through this phase where I was obsessed with watching Emmy videos and trying to figure it out. And I never did like the timeline label. I mean, I get it. I get we needed to try to come up with some kind of vocabulary to talk about the Mandela effect. But I don't know. I feel like the word timeline kind of imply that reality is something that takes place independent from consciousness. And I always thought the word implied that time was linear, for me anyway, which I didn't like because I thought retrocausality was somehow involved in the Emmy. That's kind of like the feel I got for the whole timeline thing. I think the problem with the timeline label was that we all started using it without fully defining what it actually meant. I mean, I actually used the term in the past too, so I'm not against using that label. It's just not one of my favorite words to use when we're talking about the Emmy. I don't even like Mandela effect as the name for it. I don't like the quantum effect because those names assume that we somehow know what's going on with this thing. I would have been okay with just using the word the effect. Like we could have just called it that, but I don't know. It's kind of late in the game to change the name of it now. But I don't know. Anyways, I don't think I've given up looking for an answer to the Mandela effect because, I mean, I'll always pursue the truth as long as I'm alive. I think over the years I've started looking more at how consciousness works to try to figure out the Emmy. Really what I've been trying to do is look into consciousness to figure out this reality. I think once we can figure that out, then we can start making headway with the Mandela effect. But yeah, it's been a journey, one I'm still on. Personally, I think consciousness is paramount to figuring out this reality. So that's what most of my videos have been focusing on. And then from there, it was just kind of a natural progression into exploring retrocausality and the fractal nature of things. I mean, even in music, fractals are everywhere. Now, I've given up trying to tell people about the Emmy. Like, they don't care, nobody cares. Even some people who were like die-hard Mandela effectees have turned on us and criticized us for still talking about the Mandela effect after all these years. Like, they're not above watching Mandela effect videos, but then they'll leave a comment talking about, I'm tired of hearing about the Emmy. I'm not going to go into naming anyone, but I posted a Mandela effect testimony video, or I reposted it actually on my backup channel, and someone who had been in our community had the nerve to question, why am I still talking about the Emmy? He said, I'm sick of hearing about it. Like, your name on YouTube was literally inspired by Mandela effect residue. And like I said, I'm not going to name any specific people or person because there's no point. I just think it's disheartening. As a community, I thought we were stronger than that. But I'm not surprised. There's so many different levels to this. But anyways, I'm going to keep reposting Emmy testimonies on my backup channel, whether that person is sick of hearing about the Emmy or not. So, yeah, I just wanted to check in with you guys. I know it's been a while since I posted a Mandela effect video, but it's still on my mind. It'll always be in the back of our minds. And I think the only way we're going to make any headway with figuring it out is by exploring this whole consciousness thing. And you can't really look into consciousness without exploring God or Source at some point. But yeah, all right. Well, thanks for listening to me vent, guys. I know this is kind of late, but I want to wish everyone a happy, safe New Year's.